So, good evening, everyone. I wholeheartedly welcome you all at Pharmanecia 2.E. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Pharmanecia 2.E is an international pharma e-tech fest organized by Open Pharmacy Federation and supported by advanced research in pharmaceutical and biological. The theme is Budding Healthcare Professional Patient Safety through Innovation and Technology. Pharmanecia 2.8 2020 invites leaders from the pharmaceutical industry, regulatory, academia, research, hospital, and health community across globe to pave the way towards exploring the current trends, innovation, and technology of the healthcare system. The mission is to lay an international platform for interaction among pharmacy students, academic scholars, and industry experts, and to foster a learning environment about pharmaceutical sciences and its latest advancements. I would like to thank Dr. Zareen Delawar Hussain, CEO, Integro Pharma Limited, Bangladesh, Dr. Sanjay Agarwal, founder and director, Pharma Consultants and Investor, and Mr. Vikram Chaudhary, Director, Open Pharmacy Federation, to organize this great event. I wholeheartedly thank you, sir, and I would also like to show my gratitude towards Dr. Vijay Kumar Kampa, Dr. Mona L. Asar, and Dr. A. Lakshman Rao for being the organizing secretaries of the event and helping it to be successful at every step. Thank you, everyone. Pharmanecia 2.E organizing committee would also like to thank all the collaborators who supported us throughout to make this event successful. Special thanks to Mr. Piyush Jaiswal, Director of GPAC Discussion Center, to collaborate as a knowledge partner and give away the prizes. I would also like to thank Dr. Zareen Delawar for being the platinum sponsor of our event. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I would also like to thank I would also like to thank the Vice Chancellor of USTC University, Bangladesh, and also all the principals of pharmaceutical educational institutes of India for their heartfelt support to Pharmanecia 2.E. Also, I would like to thank Paresh Dave sir to lend a helping hand in prizes. Thank you, sir. The registrations for Pharmanecia 2.E started from 15th August to 10th September 2020. We received more than 600 registrations from India and more than 100 registrations from international candidates in 5 different competitions and for the webinar series. I would also like to thank every delegate for participation and showing their heartfelt thanks and showing their support to us. So now I welcome Dr. Paresh Chandravandan Dave as a guest of honor. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Dr. Paresh Kumar Chandravandan Dave holds a doctorate degree in chemistry and postgraduate diploma in intellectual property right from Nalsar University of Law, India. After completing his doctorate, Dr. Paresh worked as postdoctoral fellow at 3 different labs: Weizmann Institute of Science, Israel; Miami University, USA; and University of British Columbia, Canada. Dr. Paresh has published 19 research articles in internationally reputed journals. He has an overall experience of 23 years with 11 years of research and development. His area of research interest includes magnetic resonance and biophysical fields to study materials and membrane proteins. I welcome you, sir, and would like to have like to have a welcome note from you. Over to you, sir.
So, good evening, all of friends, and welcome to Pharmanecia 2.E. And first of all, I would like to thank Operant Pharmacy Federation and my friend Vikram for inviting me for this opportunity and to be a part of this Pharmanecia. And as I was involved from the earliest, uh, the organizing this Pharmanecia, so I know that lot of effort Vikram and his team has put for this one, and to make this event successful. So my best wishes to all the organizers and supporters and collaborators and all the team members who has done hard work and excellent work to put this event for international repute, and to bring all these researcher and students together on one platform. So my best wishes to all for Pharmanecia 2.E. And just to start with this, I was thinking, when Vikram told me that I am going to be present and I have to talk about innovation and healthcare department. So then immediately some of the stories came into mind related to innovation. So I would like to start, sharing with you two stories. So first story it came into my mind, as our colleague and our supporter, Dr. Zareen is from Bangladesh. So immediately one story came into mind that was related to ORS. So how this ORS, this oral rehydration solution, was kind of innovated in the late 70s and early 80s time, when this I was trying to see the history of this one. And then I find out that some American researchers, they visited to Bangladesh, and with the help of some Bangladesh doctors, they started experimenting these ORS and oral rehydration solution they have found. So these ORS, if now we think of this is nothing but it's a simple solution of clean water, sugar, and some lemon kind of thing, salt also. So this is simple solution, but during that time, it was, they have to gone through lot of processes, and they have to find out how they is going to be used. And as I was seeing some of the datas, around 55 million lives from cholera and some other disease is saved only by using these ORS. So this is one of the best example I can quote for where innovation has come for healthcare, and where ORS innovation came for helping society also, without any prize or without any highly technology, etc. So this is one of the examples where innovation and healthcare are work together, and they came out with a beautiful ORS, the solution, and it helped society also. And then second example I was looking at 3M. So 3M story, most of you already known about that, because one engineer, he was working for the 3M Industries, and he was selling sandpaper. So he was going from shop to shop, mechanic shop, for selling sandpaper. And during that time he has found that in the all the mechanic shop, they wanted to color it their automobiles by two different colors. So whenever they wanted to you know cover up with two different color, they wanted to use some kind of papers to stick on this one, so one color won't get mingle with others. So they wanted to just stick some papers with glue, etc. And it was very he found that it was very reworking and etc required for two-tone coloring of the automobiles. So from that he got idea that sandpaper also they were using some kind of glues also. So later on he did some work for 2 years, and then he found out that there was a mixture of glycerin and some other glue if used on the sticky paper, and it can be easily stick it, and if you remove it, then also it won't scratch or anything, it won't leave any material. By this way the 3M paper was invented, and this is one of the good example of this one. So just to start with this, what is innovation? So innovation, if you look at the definition, is a new way or better way or more effective ways for solving some problem. And according to this dictionary, and if you see the examples also, as I said this ORS was invented, but because innovation is not a event, it's kind of process. So this process is going through from introducing new ideas, devices, etc., and new methods. And this is kind of full process, so it's not one event, it's full process. Now come to healthcare. So healthcare industries is much more dependent on innovations, because if you think of healthcare and innovation together, immediately it come to in our mind that is kind of social innovation. So where society is going to benefit from it, and society's problem is going to be solved by innovation in healthcare. So social innovations, it can tackle lot of issues like poverty, education, health, and other human development problems, etc. And it makes system level changes in the countries and society. So according to World Health Organization, it explains that health innovations improves the efficiency, effectiveness, quality, sustainability, safety, and affordability of healthcare system. And it includes new or improved health policies, practices, systems, products, technology, services, etc. So as a healthcare, when we think of this, it involves whole society at various level, different companies and different innovators, researchers, educationalists, and as well as the government policies, etc., and how these healthcares are delivered to the normal person, aam admi, how it's going to be delivered. So all these involved in the healthcare innovations. And when we think of this healthcare, there are some challenges also there. And first challenge always happened is related to budgetary problems, because budget, many times budget is a main problem. And after that, second problem is demand. So in this COVID pandemic time, we are very much aware about that, how this innovation is very important, because the innovation of this vaccine, etc., day to day, we are reading news from last 5 6 months, and we are seeing, whenever anyone, normal person, if they read, big news about the vaccine experiments, etc., they feel happy about this. So this innovation importance in this pandemic time, we understand very well. Budget is main problem, as well as demand is increasing. If population is increasing, then immediately demand is also increasing. And as well as front line is under increasing pressure also, because front line, whatever the budgets and whoever is working, so all these are under pressure always in this one. At the same time, public expectations are also on the rise. So as I give example of vaccination, all the always, public expectation is more, much more, because how this vaccine is going to come, and who is going to get, first vaccine, etc. And if we know that any news comes, like Russia has first, declared the vaccination, and then they said that first vaccine was given to the Russian president's daughter, etc. And then some rumor also came that his daughter also has some problem, etc. So public expectation increases. And according to that, whoever is innovators are there, they are also under pressure, because failure also happens. So one needs to be understand that with innovations, many failures also occurred into this one. So innovation in a healthcare center is much more important. And there are some more examples are there. As I can give, some examples, next generation sequencing is most important. So as we are all aware about that, how this gene sequencing program is going on worldwide, and all the researchers are working very hard for this one. So next generation sequencing is most important innovation. And then 3D printed devices. So in this pandemic time, we also came to know that some European company, they invented 3D printed ventilators, etc. And they give licensing for other companies and other society, means other organizations, if they were interested to make ventilators by using 3D printed technology. And this 3D printed technology, as we also well aware about, it's also, nowadays, many devices are also making, not only devices but many organs also, like heart also they're trying to make it. And today I was researching, and then I find out that 3D printed tablets also making. So in this direction research is also going on for 3D printed tablets making, manufacturing also. And AI and virtual reality, this is also going to be a important role, this one. And more important part is that point of care diagnostics. So as we aware about this in India and other developing countries, it is more important to provide point of care diagnostics at the rural area where the facilities are not available, where even diagnostic facilities is not there. Forget about the care, and forget about the providing uh, remedies and providing medicines, etc. But first thing is that diagnostic is not available at the rural area or some uh, uh, places where it's difficult to uh, reach there. So point of care diagnostics, it's also one of the good means one of the area where we researchers are looking for this one. And then many are there biosensor trackers. Today only I was trying to see one of my good friend from IIT Guwahati. He is working continuously on some kind of sensors manufacturing. So today I saw he made one beautiful review article, and it was related to point of care, diagnostics and care, how they are providing, and what different type of sensors, etc., and what different type of you know ma- chemicals, material science they are using for these biosensors manufacturing. So these are the things, it's going to be more promising and more important. And drone also. So drone is medical supplies also, to supplying the medicals at the remote areas. Drone is going to be useful. Then stem cell cure for diabetes patient is also going on this research in this 2020. And as we know about that, many technologies they are talking about, these big data and blockchain, etc. So this blockchain and big data, it's also going to play a huge role for gathering and collecting and analysis of data of vast population world around. So these are the some of the importance where innovation is very crucial and very required, necessity for providing healthcare, and to provide the healthcare at the reasonable cost and to all. Because to reach vast number of population in all different developed countries, developing countries, underdeveloped countries, where this is not possible. So main purpose of this one is that to provide, this is, as I said, that so innovation in healthcare is social innovations. So this is one of the most important for healthcare and for innovation. So this Pharmanecia is focusing on healthcare, and this is one of the very, you can say that timely and very required topics to discuss and to find out, solution from this one. And I wish all of the students and researchers who are working in these pharma industries and who are working in healthcare industries, so they get benefit from these our Pharmanecia 2.E, and they learn and they share their knowledge and experience with all of us. So thank you, Vikram and Operant Pharmacy, and I wish all the participants for different events, whoever are uh, joining for participating in different various events also, and various programs, best wishes, and best wishes to Operant Pharmacy and Pharmanecia 2.0. Thank you for giving me opportunity to share my experience with all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was indeed insightful, and you made the theme very, very clear to our delegates. I hope that our delegates are now very clear with the theme of our Pharmanecia 2.8. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. Zareen Delawar Hussain as our chief guest and and a patron too. Welcome, ma'am. She is the CEO of Integro Pharma Group Limited, Bangladesh, and Vice Area Director of Zonta International Area 2, and Secretary General of Palliative Care Society, Bangladesh. She did her MBBS in 1989 from Chittagong Medical College and then completed her post-graduation in anesthesiology from Dhaka University. She completed fellowship in cardiothoracic anesthesiology from Escorts Heart Institute and Research Center, New Delhi, India. She has won many awards including Women Excellency Award 2020 at Pharmanecia 2020 and Women's Super Achiever Award 2020 at World Health and Wellness Congress. She has been conferred as 101 Most Fabulous Global Healthcare Leaders 2020 by World Health and Wellness Congress held on 14th Feb 2020. So over to you, ma'am. Heartfelt welcome to you.
Unmute, ma'am.
Should I speak? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, greetings from Bangladesh. I'm humbled, at the same time excited to be a part of this Pharmanecia 2.E, which I think is a wonderful platform which Vikram and his team and the organizing committee has made for all the attendees, not only to exchange ideas, but to share what they know, to learn what they don't know, and not in a very formal atmosphere, but in a congenial, casual atmosphere. That's how you can grasp things. Now, before I go on, I would like, I'm a storyteller. So there has been a lot of incidents in my life. I'm a first generation female entrepreneur in pharmaceutical, and I receive daily 50 to 80 emails, and I make it a point to read each and every mail and answer them personally. And being a startup, you have to work really hard. And being in clinical practice for a good 27 years and then finally coming to pharmacy, a pharmaceutical industry is just a passion that's driving me. And I'm not paddling. You would say that I'm really running a race and I don't want to fall behind. So talking about the emails, I received one particular email 3 days back, and I was thinking that I should start my inauguration speech here with the content of the email. So it came from a corporate world, and instead of addressing me in the beginning, it said, if you want to work for money, you will never see success. But if you work with passion, determination, commitment, and if you put your clients as the first thing, then success is yours. We all know that, but hardly practice. Then there was another quotation which said, stepping into the unknown territory is quite scary. So there are two messages contradicting. One is it's an unknown field that I am here, and the other one is I have to follow my passion. So beginning with that, I thought the world is so fast pacing. Today, the corporate letters carry quotations like that. And it's not that how many things you want or I want to distribute or I want to be a partner, but just to make it very casual, and it drew my attention. And so this is what we are seeing the trend now. The formal thing of life is gradually fading away, and the casual system is coming up because it has been seen and proven time and time again that we learn better, we respond better in a casual atmosphere. I am so proud today that as the academic partner, I have been able to get registration from USTC, and I think Vikram had told me that 67 have registered. I can promise Vikram, next year you will see more universities participating. And indeed, it is not the participation, but Vikram and his dream team, the Open Pharmacy Federation, is laying out a golden platter as a platform so that students get inspired, because students, what they learn in the university and what they face in the practical field is very different, very different. It will give them an insight as to what the practical field is. And also, we are speakers, but we are not talking, reading, breathing encyclopedia. There is so much we can learn from the student, and likewise, the students can also learn from us. So you have to engage the students and the speakers. And I can promise you, if you do this kind of engagement of ideas, of innovation, of your thoughts, of your brainstorming, I can guarantee you that a new person, you will come up with great confidence. You will know what is happening around the world. That is the idea of Pharmanecia 2.E. Coming to the formal side of it, I salute Vikram. I salute the organizing committee. I salute Vikram's dream team for making this 7-day seminar into a 7-day webinar where we will be talking on various aspects of healthcare, which is about the healthcare system, about the skeleton of healthcare, about the pharmaceutical, about everything that's related to healthcare. With that, I would like to unveil and with that note, I wish huge success in terms of exchanging ideas, in terms of learning, in terms of finding what you're looking for, relinquishing your thirst for knowledge, and being confident enough to face the real world. Again, Vikram, congratulations. And Dr. Dave, you very aptly said, yes, we are proud of our oral rehydration solution. And it did save a lot of life. It is a very simple thing, but it is innovative. And today, we don't have deaths due to diarrhea. So thank you once again, Vikram. Uh, I will give a talk later on after the inauguration. So I'm trying to unveil virtually the inauguration ceremony of Pharmanecia 2.E. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was indeed insightful, and it was like learning the behavioral competency needed in a organization, or needed during your learning years. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us an idea of the professional and the professional also, and the personal life also. So thank you so much. Now
Thank
I
you.
would like to, yes, ma'am, thank you. Now I would like to welcome our patron, Mr. Vikram Chaudhary. He is the founder and director at Oakland Pharmacy Federation, and also he is currently working as head of research and development at Paris Chemicals, and he is an executive editor at Advanced Research in Pharmaceuticals and Biologicals, and he has published many review and research articles as well in the reputed internationally. So I welcome you, sir, and thank you for organizing such a great event. So over to you, sir.
I heartfully welcome our today's chief guest, Dr. Zareen Delawar Hussain. and our guest of honor, Dr. Paresh Dave. And I also welcome to all the delegates who has registered for the Pharmanecia 2.E and joined the Pharmanecia 2.E. The theme for Pharmanecia 2.E is budding healthcare professionals and patient safety through innovations and technology. The theme choosing why we choose the theme budding healthcare professionals in the current pandemic situation. We have facing the lots of healthcare crises in to recover the pandemic situation and how we can use the patient safety through the innovation and technology. That is our major concern. Our major concern is to provide a single platform to all the researchers, all the admissions, and all the industry professionals to engage with get engaged and provide the excellent knowledge in the healthcare sector through the innovation and technology. How innovation and technology get engaged and we can improve the healthcare professional. So basically, our aim is to provide the knowledge on the healthcare sector. And I also thankful to all the sponsors, especially thank to Dr. Zareen Delawar Hussain and whole management of Integro Pharmaceutical Limited.
Thank you.
Director Integro Debate Discussion Center, Raipur. Also thankful all the educational partners from the India and abroad who have provided the valuable support to Pharmanecia 2.E. Also thankful to all the knowledge partners and all the media partners and all the industrial partners who the support and valuables. And special thanks to all the governors of the event, all the college coordinators and overall whole organizing committee members who are working hard to make this event grand successful from since last 2.5 months. Thank you each and everyone for their valuable support. Thank you everyone. Over to Sweta.
Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to thank you for for organizing this event and to it was much needed event of the year as COVID-19 pandemic is there. So it was much needed. I think that it was much needed for the medical and the pharma industry. So thank you, sir. Now I would like to welcome Dr. Zareen Delawar Hussain for her keynote speech. So, ma'am, over to you. You can start your speech now. Ma'am, you are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you so much giving me the opportunity to be the speaker today. But without a serious note, let's look at this pandemic. I know a tiny spectrum has taken over our environment, caged us, and really trapped us, and we are going through trying times in our life. And if we look at this pandemic, I'm going to start with this pandemic because it is a need of the hour. And because of this pandemic, today we are doing this webinar, Zoom meeting, and everything is online, internet. But having said all of that, even there is a positive side to it because look at the children. They're doing school online, and everybody, even housewives, are also becoming tech savvy. So that is the positive side of it. We started this pandemic with some infodemics. So I'm going to share my experience, and I'm going to talk about a few of these infodemics, myths, facts, reality, and my personal experience in this COVID-19. And through that, I think you can learn whatever you need to learn, whatever you need to know. So to begin with, Firstly, the myth was, or the infodemic that came up was that it was a biological weapon made by China. And most of us believed it. But to believe that, we need to have proof because we are scientists, we are in this Z generation, and we don't go by assuming. We need proof. So to break the myth, I can say that if anybody has to make a biological weapon, the incubation period of that weapon cannot have 14 days. It can have as minimum as 24 hours to kill the entire mankind. And not only who is making it, if that person or if that lab is making it, all the lab scientists would have died. So this is not a biological weapon. And we have not faced this pandemic for the first time in our life. There has been a lot of pandemics in our world, and we have dealt with it. So it is a circle that comes after so many years. Now, a story. During this pandemic, what happened, I would go out and, of course, to the chemist shop, and I was looking for zinc tablets. So, and while buying those zinc tablets, I saw that there were two young boys who was fighting with the chemist, and when they were asking for hydroxychloroquine. And the chemist didn't have enough. He didn't have any chloroquine at all. So those boys said they nearly got into a fight, and very subtly I went and asked them, why do they need hydroxychloroquine? And they said that, don't you know that is the miracle drug for SARS-CoV-2, for COVID-19? I said, really? And where did you hear that? Donald Trump said in CNN. He himself is taking that. And I was quite intrigued. I said, if he's bringing that drug, he should get a Nobel Prize because he's innovating it. And if I were to say that the goat has grass and the goat lives on grass and leaves, and he has no COVID-19, does it mean that you're going to go and have some leaves and grass? No. So use your common sense. Then again, what happened is we hear a lot of things about the vaccine. We hear that generally the pharmacist will know better. For a vaccine to come out to the world takes 5 to 10 years because there are a lot of sequences they have to go through. They have to first find out the genome of the virus, then there's a preclinical trial, then there is a phase 1 trial where 3 individuals, healthy volunteers, are tried upon, and then a year goes by, and then the next year, if there's no side effect, then 100 individuals or volunteers are tried upon that vaccine. Then a year goes by, then the phase 3 trial, which is tried upon 1,000 volunteers, and also a year goes by, then is the regulatory system that the vaccine has to go through, and definitely for its safety, and then finally we get a vaccine. But what have we witnessed in this 5, 6, 7 months of this pandemic? Everybody is working on a vaccine. Now, where maybe with artificial intelligence, they're doing the genome sequencing or genome study that can be done in 24 hours. But preclinical, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and the regulator, they're all integrated. And within 6 to 7 months, suddenly, a lot of vaccines are coming up. Now, this vaccine, is it for the mankind? Or is it a political pressure? Because Donald Trump wants to bring out the vaccine before election. One fine day we hear Russia has come out with a vaccine, Sputnik 5. We don't know about the side effect. We haven't heard anything. But now we're reading that 14% of volunteers are facing side effect. But then again, good news for India that they have signed with the giant pharma Dr. Reddy's for 100 million dosages. Again, We have also seen how Oxford, AstraZeneca, Serum Institute of India, they have been going on for the phase 3 trial. Suddenly they were stopped because of the side effect. Now they're again going for this trial. So this trial and error is going on. Initially, we heard it's coming out in September. September is nearly ending, so we don't know. We're assuming it will come in December. Some are assuming and hoping maybe mid next year. But what actually it is, when it comes, we'll be able to know. And definitely, if it is safe, we will definitely take it. So this is about, in brief, about the vaccine. So this vaccine is a biological protection. If we talk about protection, now, during this COVID, a lot of things happened and it's happening. Suddenly, dexamethasone was thought to be the choice of drug. Everybody started stocking dexamethasone in their house. Then, when the saturation falls, and the patients had to be admitted in ICU, there wasn't enough oxygen cylinder. So people started stocking the oxygen cylinders at home. So a lot of chaos was going, and finally now everything is now at a static state. At least we know how it's going to be treated. We have a trial and error. We have a guideline, and following that. Again, in this COVID-19, we heard in the beginning, WHO said that we are hit by a pandemic, and the best way you can protect yourself is personal protection. So WHO said, okay, it's the mask and it's the hand sanitizer. Now, hand sanitizers were bought and made by factories that didn't even make hand sanitizers. Garment factories who did not make any PPE, they started manufacturing PPE. So that's how the trend was going. WHO didn't say about goggles. WHO didn't say about the shield, but we human beings, we innovated. We said, no, we'll wear goggles because this tiny spectrum, wherever anything is uncovered, tends to make its way and evade our body. So we need to cover that. Everything should be covered. In this context, I would like to say that this N95 mask and KN95 mask that we are talking about, do we really know the difference? Do we know what this mask does? Do we know the porosity of this mask? The porosity of this mask, M3 and M95, is by American FDA standard. KN95 is by Chinese standard. They have a porosity of 0.3 micron. And isn't it surprising? The size of the virus is 0.1 micron. Now, how does that get arrested in the mask? That is a question that came to my mind initially when WHO said that. And I did a lot of studies. And I found out size of the virus is 0.1 micron, fine, but this virus needs a carrier to float. So what is this carrier? This carrier is my saliva when I cough, when I sneeze, my nasal discharge is a carrier. So with the carrier, the virus is bound and the size becomes big, and hence it becomes more than 1 micron, and it's arrested against the porosity of the mask. Another thing, when I started going to office, I have observed a lot of workers, lot of executives started wearing t-shirts and cheap kind of shirts. And reason being, oh, I have to wash it every day and I can't afford to wash my good shirts. So there was a boom of buying washing machine, dryers and things like that. So I was kind of thinking, what is it? What is the lifespan of this virus? How long does it stay alive? Then I started studying and then found out, to my utter surprise, that this virus stays alive on the cloth for 24 hours. So it's about the cloth. What about the wooden surface where we work? The table is alive there for 2 days. What about our wristwatch, which is made of stainless steel, and the specs that we wear, the glasses? How long is it alive there? It is alive for 4 days. Now, the most interesting part is how long does it survive in the mask? You will be surprised. It survives or it is alive for 7 days in the outer layer of the mask. Now, doesn't that say a lot about all the frontliners who had succumbed to this virus? This is a WHO publication on 20th of May 2020. So, doctors who have been treating patients, they have their PPE, they have their shoe cover, they have their gloves, they have their goggles, they have the shields, they have the mask. So when they finish duty, obviously they open the mask, and by chance they must have touched the outer layer and they themselves infected themselves. And that's how I think we lost a lot of our doctors today. So this is about the mask that I'm talking. WHO has said that protect yourself. Now again, WHO said, no, only personal protection will not do. You need to protect your environment, which is the ambient protection. WHO said that the air conditioner, because the rise was in the high in India, analysts had found out that the virus was circulating within the air-conditioned room for a long time, because air conditioner, when it works, it takes very little air from outside and it recirculates the air, the inside air. So if the virus is present, so virus has no way of getting out. So virus is there in the room. That's why a lot of elderly people who have not stepped out of their house, they got affected. And they were surprised that we did not step out of the house. How come we have it? So gradually we are finding out the reasons that how people are being affected. Another thing is the ambient protection. WHO is saying that you need to have HEPA filter in the air conditioner. You need to have negative pressure in the operation theater. It's not possible for every operation theater to have negative pressure. Or in the house to have HEPA filter. So I'm giving a food for thought to the students who are attending. Please study on ambient protection. How can you protect your bioburden, the air that you're breathing? This is a task that I'm giving you, and you will be amazed if you go through that there is something called ambient protection. That is called personal ambient protection. How can you personally have ambient protection? So I have talked in general about 3 layers of protection. I started from backwards. I talked about the vaccine, which is the biological protection. Then I jumped to the first layer of protection, which is protecting yourself with mask. Then I ended up with the ambient protection. I'm not going to talk about ambient protection because I want the students to study and find out, and they will tell me what is ambient protection. Now, if I were to talk about this pandemic, I cannot ignore a silent epidemic that is the mental well-being. People are depressed. Are we addressing that? What is happening? How come young, healthy individuals, they are also dying of this COVID-19? In any illness that we have, we expect people to look after us. We need seva, we need nursing. But for this COVID-19, what happens? Panic attack. And how? As soon as you see your mobile, you see a text message coming that you are COVID positive. The first thought that comes, firstly, you skip a beat in your heart, and then the first thought comes, God, I'm going to die. So what happens? You're depressed. Quickly, you have to isolate within the 4 walls of your room. You cannot go out. Nobody's looking after you. You have to take your own shower. You have to sort of look after yourself, clean yourself, tidy up the room. The food, probably somebody's putting it right in front of the door. You open it and you take it. So these loneliness has all been a factor. Isolation has been a factor for this mental depression. And latest statistics show in US that this rate of suicide has doubled during this pandemic. Lot of healthy, vibrant youngsters have gone through depression. And I personally have come across two families. One is my relative. The entire family was affected by COVID-19. And the husband had 5 stents. He had also lung problem. And he was immediately admitted at the HDU of Evercare Hospital. And my cousin with her 3 sons were all COVID positive. And I thought this girl, when I spoke to her, I can see that she was sinking because of herself, sinking what is going to happen to her husband, sinking what her children are going through, her sons are going through. So I took that as a big project. I said, no, I'm going to look after this family. So I used to call up every day, 4 times, and I would tell my cousin, you do not lie down, get up, walk, do this exercise, do this breathing exercise, do not watch news, do not see any news, just stick on to TV, then read some light magazines, see some comedy serial. And with that, and constantly, I was also calling the hospital because I know the doctors there and they were giving me the update of her husband. So what happened at the end? They all became all right and they're all together now. And today, when I see her, she tells me that I have saved her life. I actually have not. Only by communicating with her every day, 4 to 5 times a day, perhaps boosted her immunity. When the immunity system is boosted, there's no chance of depression coming in. And when you are mentally strong, you become stronger to fight. There was another friend of mine who tested COVID positive and called me immediately and said, I don't want to live anymore. I think I've lived my life. I'm ready to die. I said, no, you're not dying. I'm coming to your house. She said, what? I said, yes, I'm coming to your house. And then I used to call her 7, 8 times a day. And within 10 days, she was cured. The whole family was cured. It's not that I have done anything major, but it's just that, I was talking to them. So these people who are affected, they are the ones. This is an anxiety, a fear, a desperation of the unknown. Because don't know what's going to happen. All you can do for all of us that we are listening today in this platform, we all can help every family who has been affected by giving them a call, doing a video call, boosting up them mentally, and giving them that energy to fight the disease. We are human beings. We can adapt. We are fighters. And I always believe we can achieve anything. Everything is achievable. Another thing which I would like to mention is right now we are facing the second wave. And already in the newspaper, we have seen that Israel is going for a lockdown. UK is also contemplating another lockdown. And the scientists are saying that this strain might be more dangerous. So we should not, I don't want to scare all of you. Just be prepared. Just maintain your sanity. Boost your immune system. Do your exercise. Do breathing exercise. Live a healthy life. Don't say, I'm not going to go out of the house. Go out of the house. We are human beings. We need to see people. We need to see cars. We need to see roads. And for elderly patients, I will tell the sons and daughters, please take your parents out at night when the traffic is less. Take them out in an air-conditioned car. Show them the town. Bring them home. And you will see that they are feeling happy. We need to feel happy. We need a certain level to come up to be happy. So lastly, I will tell you about my experience in COVID. I went for one day to Istanbul. to sign a deal with one of the distributors. And it was just for one night. And I got stuck for 56 days. You can imagine, one night, I packed for one night. My money is for one night. And I got stuck for 56 days. And I thought, if that is going to be, I could have been depressed, but I didn't. I thought it's an opportunity for me because my distributors were looking after me and they provided me with all kind of benefits. And I started studying. I did a certification course on COVID-19 from WHO. I did another certification course from London School of Medicine and Tropical Hygiene. And during those times, though Istanbul was on lockdown, but people would go out early in the morning for walks, and I would go out in the park for walks. So that's how I passed my 56 days. And when I came back, again, I was on quarantine for 14 days. So it was like an never ending fight to get into my house, to get into my work. So during this quarantine, I came to know my fraternity, young doctors who are serving the patients or looking after. They are dying. They don't have proper PPE or the original 3M N95 mask. So I just wrote a small note in the Facebook and I contacted my team in the pharmaceutical that I personally want to give to the junior doctors a packet of PPE, 3M N95 mask, hand sanitizer, shoe cover, and head cover. And trust me, I'm not that rich, neither is my company so rich, but I've managed to give 2,000 of junior doctors with those kits free of charge in every nook and corner of Bangladesh. I feel that that wasn't enough, but that's what I could do. That was my capability, and I tried to do as much as I could. Today, whenever there is some help is required from any family, any patients, I'm there for them. I talk to them, and it gives them a boost up that will help them pass those 14, 15, or 20 days needs them to be COVID negative. And I don't quite encourage people to see the news because it can be very depressing. Sometimes there can be a lot of infodemics that can really play a lot of havoc in the system. Now, to end, lastly, I would like to say that today, in this platform, we have so much to give to the society. You don't have to be rich. You just need to have your heart open, your soul open to embrace mankind, and you will see, you will get that energy to give it back to those who need it very badly. With best regards from my side and from my country, I wish Open Pharmacy Federation a successful journey of 7 days and a huge success. Thank you.
Thank Thank you so much, ma'am. It was indeed insightful, and the way you told us things and gave us a new direction of thinking towards COVID-19 and its solutions, and the way you explained the layer of protections that should be researched upon and that should be used for us, that was indeed insightful. And the main thing I learned from this, I guess I and all the audience have learned from you, is you don't need to be rich, you only need to have an urge to serve people. So that was a great session, ma'am, and a great speech from your side. We learned a lot, and I hope our audience has also gained so much knowledge and a different way of thinking towards COVID-19. And I am sure that people will come back to us with their responses on the like ambient protection. What you said is a task for us. So I wish people come with come with it. So thank you, ma'am, for this insightful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And okay, so as we have come to an end of this session, I would like to thank Dr. Paresh Kumar Dave for being here, Dr. Zarina Delawar Hussain for an insightful session and for being a part of this session, and and Mr. Vikram Chaudhary for organizing this whole session and organizing Pharmanecia 2.E. Thank you everyone for being here, and I hope tomorrow also we have the same. Tomorrow also we have a keynote speaker with us, and at the same time, so hope every delegate join us tomorrow also. So thank you everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Ada.